The movie begins in a bustling city. Rama and Joshi exit a meeting discussing party funds. As they part ways, Rama calls her son Rahul to pick her up. Unable to reach him, she opts for a cab. Meanwhile, two mysterious men, one of them, concealed under a blanket, signals the other to prepare, who is hiding behind a van. As Rama walks closer, the man stabs her in the stomach. She pushes him back, pulls out a gun, and tries to shoot him. But the second man stabs her from behind, killing her. Moments later, Rahul arrives with his friends and find his mother dead on the street. The scene shifts to another part of the city. A crowd gathers to attack an office, destroying property and creating chaos. The police are informed and rush to the scene. Hearing the sirens, the mob disperses, running to evade the cops. Following the attack on the office, the four friends Anandu, Saji, Manu, and Manav escape through the back door and hide in a banana plantation. Exhausted and panicked, they rest briefly before receiving a call from Kumar. He instructs them to meet him at the Nikunjam bar at 9 p.m. on the rooftop. The friends arrive at the bar and head to the rooftop, where Suni is engaged in a settlement over sand loads with local goons. Midway through the meeting, Ani arrives and warns the opposing party to back off and leave immediately. Kumar introduces Anandu and his friends to Ani, explaining their role in the office attack. Recognizing their potential, Ani arranges beer and food for them and hands them some money to cover their expenses. Later, Murali approaches Ani and asks his help to rob a go-down filled with black money. Meanwhile, Anandu returns home late at night. His worried mother scolds him for his erratic lifestyle and late nights. Despite her concerns, she offers him food, but Anandu declines, retreating to his room and falling asleep. Ani visits his sister Rama at her residence. They discuss ongoing issues related to the quarry business and the challenges they face with local protests and legal troubles. Rama advises Ani to clear it. Ani called Kumar and told him to bring men to the quarry. While Saji was drinking tea, his villagers called him for some painting work, but Saji declined, saying he was unfit for that kind of work. Suddenly, Saji's girlfriend arrived with her dad, and Saji began admiring her. At that moment, Kumar came and took them to address the issue at the quarry. Meanwhile, in the quarry, a group of people had gathered, planning to strike and stop the quarry digging. Ani arrived with his gang to handle the situation. He called Sri Kumar and offered them anything they wanted in exchange for leaving the quarry. Sri Kumar agreed and assured them that by evening, everything would be cleared. As Ani was leaving the quarry, local villagers blocked his path, scolding him for continuing to dig the quarry. They complained that the quarry was spoiling the drinking water, and they warned Ani to get out of his car. Suddenly, Anandu jumped out, kicked one of the villagers, and called his friends to clear the crowd. During the altercation, they threw an old man to the ground. Eventually, the four friends managed to clear the villagers, allowing Ani to move forward. That night, Ani's sister Rama met him and told him to leave the city for a few days because the old man had injured his shoulder. The villagers had filed a complaint against you at the police station, and the police were searching for you. Ani decided to meet Binu, who lived in the mountains. Ani reached a checkpost where he met Binu. With the help of a police officer, they moved deeper into the forest. They lit a bonfire, and Ani asked Binu about the porcupine case on him. The next morning, Ani sent a person to get food for everyone. While he was on his way, the cops arrived and asked about Binu. He then sent a signal to Ani and Binu by whistling, signaling them to escape. As they were escaping, they had to confront each other, and the cops tried to catch them. Ani fought off the police, but the four others were caught. The cops took them to jail and began investigating Ani's involvement by beating them. The CI called their parents, informing them about their children's connection to Ani. Meanwhile, Ani met Sri Kumar and arranged money to get them out of jail. They managed to get bail and were told to sign the register before leaving. Murali met Ani again and told him about the black money deal, saying that now was the perfect time to rob it. Ani then called his friend Suni and explained the deal to him. Afterward, they contacted four friends and informed them about the plan. Ani offered them a high amount of money if they successfully robbed it from the go-down. He also warned them that two people had already failed in trying to rob it, so you needed to be careful. The group told Ani they would think about it and let him know. Later, they discussed the deal amongst themselves. Everyone agreed that this would be their last job, and after this they would stop such activities. The next day they met Ani and confirmed they were going to rob it. Anandu asked about the two people who had attempted before. Ani handed him a SIM card and told them to turn off their phones and only use that card to contact him. They started planning the robbery. Each of them said they would go on a trip with their parents to avoid suspicion. Ani then called and told them that Citrarasu and Malarvendan were the ones who had tried to rob it before. He revealed they were from Othukada, Madurai. The group reached Othukada and asked a shopkeeper about Citrarasu and Malarvendan. With the help of a child, they located and met them. Anandu questioned them about their failed robbery attempt and proposed that they join forces to successfully rob the go-down this time. He offered them a share of the money if the mission succeeded. They prepared luggage bags to carry the money and set out at night. Parking their vehicle by the roadside, they entered a service road to avoid being captured by CCTV cameras. Anandu checked for security and spotted a car nearby. They waited patiently until the car left before proceeding. As they entered the go-down, a security guard noticed them and tried to stop them, but they subdued him and tied him to a chair. They began searching the go-down for the money and discovered a hidden passage leading underground. Following the passage, they found several boxes. Anandu broke open one of the boxes with a rod and confirmed it contained money. They quickly packed all the money into their bags and started their return journey. However, another car suddenly began following them and attacked. Trying to escape, they made a sharp right turn and entered an unknown area, finally stopping the vehicle there. Anandu immediately called Ani and explained what had happened, seeking guidance on their next move. Meanwhile, in Godown, the police began investigating the workers and the security guard from the Godown. A police officer, trying to extract the truth, crushed the security guard's leg, but the owner intervened and told the officer to let the guard go. Following this, the officer sent all the workers and the guard away. Ani met with the group and urged them to leave the city quickly. However, Anandu demanded a share of the money for the group. Ani refused, explaining that it wasn't his decision to make. It was up to his sister, Rama, to decide how much would be given to whom. Accepting this, Ani prepared to leave. Ani and Suni took the money with them while the police continued searching for clues. On their way out, they stopped at a tea stall. There, they noticed a banner with friends and decided to take a photo for their own banner. Later that night, they four send off to his new friends and starts to their hometown. Ani and Suni brought the money back safely to their place. They four went to Saji's house, where they had breakfast. Afterward, Ani called them to meet him. The group met Ani. Ani informed them that Rama was on her way. Rama arrived and offered them Ari's 10 lakhs as their share, but they refused, demanding Ari's 50 lakhs per person. Rama then increased the offer to Ari 25 lakhs, declaring it final. Manu, however, rejected it and angrily scolded Rama. In response, Rahul and his friends began attacking the group. Rahul attempted to break Manu's legs, but Ani intervened and stopped him, ordering everyone to leave. As they were leaving, Rahul kicked Saji and warned them to stay out of their way. Humiliated, the four friends returned to their place and decided to take revenge. They began searching for Rahul, checking every possible spot. Eventually, they found him and Saji smashed his car's mirror to start the confrontation. The four friends attacked Rahul and his group, ensuring he couldn't escape. They broke Rahul's hand and leg and leave the place. By knowing this, Rama rushed to the hospital to see her injured son. She called Ani and Suni, ordering them to pay Rs 3 crore to the group and to end the matter here itself. Ani called the group and offered them Rs 3 crore, asking them to end the matter there. The four friends accepted the offer and left. The next morning, Manu and Manav decided to meet their friends, but took the wrong route. On their way, a lorry crashed into them, and they both fell to the ground, dying on the spot. Hearing the tragic news, Ani met Anandu and Saji to console them. He also informed his sister, Rama, who came to meet the grieving friends. Citrarasu and Malarvendan also arrived to offer their condolences and asked Anandu and Saji to come to Madurai with them. Anandu replied that they would come with the money. The next day, Anandu called Saji to collect the money from Ani. They met Ani, took the money, and began their journey to Madurai. Suddenly, a group of people ambushed them. They got out of the car and tried to escape, but the attackers threw a knife, hitting Saji in the back. Saji fell to the ground, gravely injured. Anandu tried to help him, but Saji urged him to escape. Anandu hid behind a tree and watched helplessly as the attackers killed Saji before fleeing the scene. Devastated, Anandu cried as he held his friend's lifeless body. He took Saji's body and handed it over to his grieving mother. The sight of his friend's death fueled Anandu's desire for revenge. Determined to find out who was responsible, Anandu met Kumar and demanded answers. When Kumar refused to reveal the truth, Anandu held a knife to his neck and demanded to know who was behind his friend's death. Kumar revealed the shocking truth. Rama, Ani, and Suni were behind the deaths of Anandu's friends. Despite Kumar's attempts to stop him, Anandu refused to forgive them and decided to exact his revenge. Anandu targeted Ani first. He confronted him and attempted to kill him with a knife, but Ani fought back fiercely. Their battle escalated, with Ani trying to drown Anandu. However, Anandu used his knife to cut Ani's face. The fight continued, and though Ani had a chance to kill Anandu, he chose to spare him. Anandu, however, showed no mercy and stabbed Ani in the heart, killing him. Shortly after, Suni arrived to meet Ani but was ambushed by Anandu. Anandu attacked him, cutting his hand before retreating to the water, determined to kill the last target, Rama. Meanwhile, Rama received the devastating news about Ani and Suni. Anandu shared the truth about his friends' deaths with Citrarasu and Malarvendan. Though they offered to help, Anandu refused and set out on his journey to Bengaluru, where Rama was located. At the same time, the godown owner discovered through Murali that Rama had stolen the money. Seeking retribution, the owner killed Murali and confronted Rama, demanding the stolen money be returned. Anandu tracked Rama to a gym in Bengaluru. He waited until she finished her workout and approached her as she neared her car. Just as Anandu was about to attack, a speeding car rammed into him, leaving him fatally injured. The driver was none other than Kumar, who killed Anandu in the process. Witnessing Anandu's tragic death, Citrarasu and Malarvendan vowed to avenge him. They devised a plan to kill Rama. Executing their strategy, they successfully kills her. To honor their fallen friends, they created a banner with their picture and celebrated the unbreakable bond of their friendship.